so good to see so many of you here. You always worry, and this is such an important issue to me. First of all, how many veterans do we have? How many know somebody that's a veteran? Ah, there you go. This is such an important issue, and it's being complicated with all of the politics that are going on, which is a shame with the veterans and all of their needs and things we need to do for them. There is a handout. If you didn't, little trifold. If you didn't get one of those, let me know. A bit of an aside. The Humane Society does have Pets for Vets program, actually, which I established. Veterans and military will never be charged any money to adopt an animal, and so I really would encourage you to do that for the animal, but also for the vets, and so many of them, of the animals and the vets, may have a special need that allows them to connect with love. So I'm really happy about that. Just one other note on, there was in the bulletin about the Humane Society donations. I want to tie this in again to Dodge and layoffs and SNAP, which we still don't know when folks are going to get their money. Thank you. They are seeing, they have all the time a food pantry for their pets, for their animals. Anybody in the community that has an animal that needs food can go out there and get food free. That pantry's empty. Oh. It's empty because of layoffs, firings, Dodge, SNAP instability. So they're really putting out a request for pet food, and I appreciate folks that brought some stuff. If you didn't get the notice about tonight and you want to donate, you can throw a check, you can throw cash right into that box, or you can go to their website and they have an Amazon wish list. You can order stuff straight off of that, Amazon, and it'll go straight to them. So from my heart, I would ask you to think about helping that. The topic tonight is veterans, and I've asked my friend John Woodley to come and present to us, not only on local issues, but whatever he might want to say about national issues. I'm quite honored to have called John my friend for several years now. We started out together on the Carroll County Board of Elections, and I was instantly impressed with his knowledge, his dedication, and his patriotism. So kudos to you. And he continues with that. If I get anything wrong, tell me here. A long history of his own business in the field of IT security, teacher, coach, delightful person. He also played a major role in the development of the Carroll County Veterans Initiative, and that has morphed into kind of an ad hoc committee to now they have a formal building and services, and it has just blossomed. And our community veterans need that. I'm not going to say any more. I'm going to let you say what you want. This is such a...
Thank you.
I did it, huh?
Yeah, the cords are in the way there.
That's what.
Yeah, no worries. So, greetings, and I really appreciate everyone coming in to hear me speak on the topic of veterans and veterans' challenges, not just here in Carroll, but nationally. And, you know, special thanks to Carroll. Like I said, like she said, she and I met as we served 4 years on the Carroll County Board of Elections. We got a lot done, and it was a great experience. The one thing that I will share with you is the organization that I'm here representing, Veterans Independence Project, formally known as Carroll County Veterans Independence Project, or CCVIP, right? Of course, we still carry the name, but we're now doing business as VIP. And the reason we're doing business as VIP is in our short time in existence since 2017, we are taking in and actually helping veterans across the state and across the country because family members, friends have just seen some of the things that we've been able to accomplish for our veterans. And they're like, hey, I know someone who needs some assistance. And we just probably heard about another person who needs some assistance. And we have such a great team that will be able to assist. In regards to the Veterans Independence Project, so the organization was actually founded by 3 vets. Okay, they are Frank Valente, Ed Kramer. I don't know if some of those names ring a bell to some of you all, and Mike Sater. Right? They actually got together and realized and recognized, especially here in Carroll, that a lot of our vets here locally were not getting what they needed, either in information or services. So, you know, that is, and that became the mission of the organization. And, you know, our mission statement is the need drives the mission. We don't care if it's a veteran who, you know, wants a service dog, or a veteran who is homeless. Believe it or not, we do have homeless vets here in Carroll County.
No.
Right? And that really is a shame, you know. But if they need cars, if they need help with law enforcement, if they need help within the hospital system, whatever it is, we stand up and connect with our other partner organizations, and we make certain they get what they need, right? So what is VIP? We provide, and you know, I'm not going to read everything there, but please take your time. We provide a multitude of services for the vets. And I'll share some of the special instances where we've provided some services that would just blow you away, and what we've been able to do for some of our vets. But you know, again, one of the biggest things that we do is we are the largest veteran-run organization here in Carroll County. We provide on average of 160 plus assisted veterans case submissions, right? Every month we're helping submit information to the VA, assisting these vets, over 160 plus a month at this point. And that's more than any other organization. It's more than any other organization here locally. Hold on a second, sorry. So, you know, when you consider that, when we assist in the claim submissions, the results that we produce are for any, typically when a veteran comes to us, whether they have a 0 rating, and I'll explain a little bit of that, or a slightly higher rating but less than 100% rating, we have been successful in 80% of our submissions of getting them 50% to 100% rating within the VA. And if you speak to any veteran who's gone through the process, that's some work. That's big. But, you know, to the average person who may not know, what does all that mean? What is a 50% rating? What's a 100% rating? So one example I will give you, and this is why it's such a shame for there to be a homeless veteran. So if a veteran has a 50% rating, just in this one area, that qualifies them for a earned benefit. And remember, this is all, they earned this. Nobody's given this to them, right? That means they qualify for earned payout benefit of around $1,009 a month, tax-free, because they're a veteran. If they're at 100% status, that would afford them about $4,100 a month, tax-free.
So you're talking about the disability percentage?
There's just, yeah, the rating is a disability percentage, yes. So, you know, when you see a vet who is struggling financially, they probably have not been introduced to the right people, or don't understand or don't have the information they need to get what they've earned. And, you know, that's one of the first things we say to them, because especially, we hear this with a lot of vets, but especially Vietnam vets. And Vietnam vets who say, have done a little better, they always say, well, I don't want to take something from someone else.
Oh.
They actually earn those benefits. And those benefits also convey to their spouses, right? So many of them don't understand that. And in a way they lose out, right? And one of the things that I always say is, you know, when you look in the mirror and you look at yourself, your basic rights would not exist without the sacrifice of a veteran, right? Any questions so far? So as I come through, and at any point, if you have a question or you want to stop me, please do. But some of the challenges, first challenges, and this is both these challenges, and again, I won't read every single word on the slide for you. These challenges are both national and local. Towards the end of the presentation, I'll focus a little bit more on some of the things that are specific to Carroll County or any rural area around this country. But, you know, we've all heard of some of the things that our veterans deal with from a mental health perspective. The number one thing, PTSD, traumatic brain injuries, loss of limb, right? All sacrifices they made for us. These things you run across on a regular, the challenges with PTSD and sometimes traumatic brain injury is that we can walk and meet these veterans and we may not even recognize those challenges, right? So again, it's so important for us to provide assistance and support. And we you know, it says veterans, but it's veterans and their families, right? So with all of these things, you know, when you talk about health and mental health, you talk about the employment challenges. Those are some of the challenges they face here, especially in Carroll, especially with us being a rural community. If they don't have transportation, boy, you're talking, it's really difficult. Social and transitional challenges. I'll share a little bit about some of the things, some of the activities that we've enacted at V.I.P to kind of help a little more with that. And, you know, just the access to support. That's probably the biggest challenge. Like I said, there are supposed to be, for all military branches, transition processes for when person transitions from active duty to veteran status. And what I have found in listening to many of the vets, if they had a really strong upline support system, then many of them got some really good information. But if they did not, then they may have made the transition and they hit the street and they're kind of floundering. They don't know what exactly to do. When it comes to,
John,
go ahead.
It's minutia, but I think, to me, it's important on that support. They did a renovation at their office, their building, and one of the things they made sure to put in was a fully functional bathroom, shower, etc. And you don't think about it, but there are so many homeless vets, for example, that have no place to clean up. And just thinking of that little treasure makes me smile.
Yes, thank you. And we have a bathroom. We now have a kitchen. We have an area, let's say if they were staying at one of the county facilities that supports the homeless, I can tell you that's not usually a good place for the vets, right? Because not every vet wants to be in a crowded situation, right? But we provide a means for them to come. They can wash their clothes and don't have to worry about someone taking their items, right? Like Carol said, they can clean themselves up. They can do it peacefully. They can sit and relax. They can watch TV. There's always some snacks and food for them when they come in, right? So thank you for that. The
Question, and how, if you see vets on the street, you see them all the time, and you want them to be able to connect, what's the best way to connect with you? What I'm asking is maybe have a card that we could hand and say, call this, so I can get in contact with this.
we can definitely make that happen. And with some cards, but I can tell you in the handout,
Take some extra-
please take some extra information. The handout has good contact information on it, but a lot of times the staff will, because of our many connections and volunteers will make it known, hey, I saw a homeless person, made some contact with them, found out they were a vet, or, we have gone through with law enforcement and the court system, the hospital system, and the county system, right? And some of the things we've done with law enforcement and the hospital system is now, if someone comes in to be triaged into the hospital system, or let's say someone gets arrested, one of the first questions they ask is, are you a veteran? Right? And that doesn't absolve them, say, of a crime per se, but especially if it's a misdemeanor or something minor, they may be triaged differently because, again, if that vet has severe PTSD and something's triggered them, they might not be in the right mindset. Or if you go into the hospital system, especially for some of the older vets, and I'll share a great story with you tonight, where there's a situation where, and I may as well just share it now, but one of the most fantastic stories I've ever personally been a part of. So we had a family, we had Bridging Life call us. And Bridging Life is a part of the Carroll Hospital system, right? And they called us and they said, well, we have a person that just found out he was a vet. And he was in hospice. a few weeks to live. And, you know, we went on with the conversation. We told him we'd have to talk to the family, right? Because they couldn't answer some of the questions we were asking. So the family contacted us. This gentleman served in Vietnam. He was like really bitter. I mean, very bitter. And he was bitter for several reasons. He felt like he was forgotten. As well, he earned some medals that he had never gotten in over 50 years, right? So he's in the last days of his life, and he's like really bitter. And the family asked, is there something you can do to kind of help ease his transition? So they made the contact, and you know, they shared his DD-214, so we knew exactly what medals he had. We tried to get the medals through the government, and they said, yes, we will replace his medals, but it was going to take,
We needed them now.
and yes, it was going to take like 60, 90 days, whatever it was. We're like, well, that won't do. So the team got together, and we secured his medals for him, right? Again, we're working on 14 days possibly of him living. And we secured his medals. We ended up calling in to state leadership, right, and national leadership. And we actually got him pinned, and this was all within 6 to 7 days. We got him pinned. We got Senator Van Hollen to give him a personal call. And when he was pinned with his medals, it was almost like he went from barely being there to almost ready to stand up out of the bed. And he ended up living for almost 3 months after that. But his demeanor was different. So his family's interaction during his last days were very different. And you know, and just sharing that story,
Very good.
it just, thank you.
I don't know if you're aware, John, but that's a permanent program now at hospice. If it's a veteran, they will ask the veteran and the veteran's family if they want these special events or activities. So
Yes.
It's permanent now.
Awesome. And if it's through Bridging Life,
I don't know, but I'm
Yes.
guessing it's that same.
yes.
Yeah.
So we have an extremely strong relationship with them now because we all walk together through this process. And it goes back to what I was sharing earlier. The mission drives the need for us. We don't know all of the things that we will come across, but you know, because they've sacrificed for us, there's not a no answer out of us. We find a way, right? You know, some of the other challenges, and I know I only have about 20 minutes, but you know, we all know of the economic challenges. Like I said, there should not be a situation, if you know of a vet who's struggling financially, there is absolutely no reason that should be happening. And you know, it potentially has to do that. They haven't been connected with their earned benefits, right? And there are all sorts of things that we are aware of, and things like there are grants to have the home modified that doesn't have to come out of their pocket. Say if they need a ramp, right, to help them get into the house, a special bathroom, there are grants for that. They don't have to take money out of their pocket. There are benefits for, like I said, for the spouse. If, as I was sharing, a person with 100% benefits who's receiving that $4,000 or so a month, upon their passing, if everything's completed correctly, the spouse would still receive half of that as a death benefit. So to help them continue living, right? So there's so much out there. It's just, the big deal is, how do we get the information to them? How do we get them in so they can talk to the right people, right? As we go through, again, we talked about some of the social challenges. One of the things that we've done to help with some of the social challenges that vets have, and this is a program we started probably about 2, 3, 4 years ago, called Vet Talk. It happens once a month. When this program was first started, there were only 2 people. We had more team members from V.I.P than vets, right? Now, on a monthly basis, Vet Talk averages 45, 50 plus veterans at every event. They get served snacks, food, and stuff. But it's really a room, and it's only vets. They get a chance to come in and express themselves and talk. Sometimes there are formal topics they talk about, but in most cases, it's almost therapeutic for them to be able to kind of express some of the things that they've experienced as a veteran, right? So these are things that we've learned to do for these vets that helps them out.
Where is that take place?
The Vet Talk is now, are we back at our headquarters?
Every third Thursday at 95 Carroll, they're in our headquarters.
Every third Thursday.
6 to 8. But do show up. They're in there by 5:15 because they want to start talking at 6. So I start prompting.
So 95 Carroll Street?
It's on that.
And you have a web,
Yes.
Glass, don't you have Facebook?
Yes, we have Facebook. We have Facebook. We have the social media. But Carroll Street, so what is it, Monroe? Is it Monroe right next to Food Line?
Actually, you just think
Jiffy Mart or whatever, right?
Yes.
Yes.
There's a Jiffy Mart.
coming from the city, turn at
Yeah.
Jiffy's and come up Carroll. If you're coming from 140, then you want to turn on
Angler Road.
Angler and it turns into Carroll, right
And
past
then you
Falmouth.
turn, yeah, and then it goes straight into Carroll.
Yes. Yes.
But if you do get on your web, your Facebook or whatever, you'll get blasts on each of these meetings.
Exactly. Exactly.
12 months a year, even November and December.
And again, afterwards, I'll be here. So, and that gentleman right there, by the way, is Jason Sidak. Jason's the executive director, so he handles operations for us.
Hey, Jason.
So I'm gonna move down here and talk a little bit more about some of the challenges we have in Carroll. One of the big challenges we have in Carroll is our distance away from the VA centers, right? And the lack of transportation. The county does have some shuttles, but it's, there's, if there are more than a few vets that really want to go to different places, it's not like we have a large shuttle service, right? So, and I'm not saying the county does not do a good job, they do. But again, we could use more. There are not enough services, right? So that's one of the big issues. Some of the other issues are employment issues, right? Jobs. Here in Carroll, there are a decent amount of jobs here, but a good many of our Carroll population does not work in Carroll. So that is also a challenge, underemployment. And I talked a little bit about the homelessness situation. I think the county lists about 7 homeless vets. However, when we, and occasionally we throw an event where we might have, say, Mission Barbecue. Mission Barbecue is great, by the way. They support almost all of our events. And they do not charge us. So if we throw an event where we invite in the homeless, right, we have found that there's probably closer to 25 homeless vets here in Carroll, right? And that's just the number that we know of, okay? So there could be more, right? And now one of the things that we also do, we have helped secure vouchers for them to find places and a multitude of other things. One of our long-term goals for the Veterans Independence Project is to secure some land and build some homes, have a doctor on site, and have a place where the vets, you know, as they make their transition back into, say, some normalcy, they can, you know, we can grow plants, vegetables, stuff like that, and, you know, really get them into help them get back to normalcy, right? But that's one of our long-term goals. And I spoke a little bit about the legal system and some of the things that we do to make certain that if a vet has say a breakdown, a mental break, that they're just not throwing them in jail and throwing away the key. Right? That at least we know who we're dealing with from a law enforcement perspective, and we can get them the right support and help. And we've been able to help a number of vets already with that.
So our local law enforcement here is trained on that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, and as a matter of fact, I know Jason has, we have some judges within the court system that are also very aware and now ask certain questions.
And John, if I may, don't
Yes,
mean to interrupt you at all. You can have a veteran go in front of the court, and of course the courts can't validate if you're a veteran. They have no idea. But we've garnered such respect, especially like Judge Titus, Judge Hecker, I mean all the circuit court. They will actually recommend or reach out, and I'll hear from the judge's chamber saying, we were asked to get a hold of you, this veteran, we think they're a veteran, and then we will submit paperwork to validate they're a veteran and go. And there's not been a time I've not been in court, whether I was asked by the lawyer or not, that Judge Titus wouldn't ask me to speak on that veteran, because we're going to be able to say, yes, we'll never, as John said, I was an MP, we'll never ask for you to look past the crime. It's, if we can have drug court and all these other great things, you know, and there is vet court, we got tied into that, and I'm not going to take away from what John's doing. He's doing.
Yeah.
But it's to help that veteran down that road, because putting them in jail is not going to solve a thing. Sorry.
Yeah. Thank you, Jason.
No.
So, you know, we talked a little bit about it, about some of the challenges, and honestly, we could probably be here for, if we really went in depth, we could probably be here for 2 hours or more, right? But, you know, the big deal is, hey, we never have enough support for our veterans, right? And like I said, we wouldn't have our basic freedoms without our veterans. So, you know, what can you do, right? Some of the things that I was glad Carol asked, because I was going to ask, if you are a vet and you're not yet rated, or you have a rating and you believe you should be higher rated, you should contact us. If you know a vet and you know that vet is challenged, you should contact us, right? talk to them, of course, get some approval, but you should talk to us. You should recommend that vet come and talk to us, right? Because again, they've earned these benefits. They should not be sitting there, they should not be struggling. Some of the other things, we always need volunteers. We just had a great event yesterday. I don't know if you guys saw it on, read about it in social media. We had an SOS event, which is, we had several of the restaurants, Mission Outback, a number of others come out, and we were at the lodge, Door to Virtue Lodge, Mason's Lodge, over on Monroe Street. And so we served the food just like they would be served in the mess hall. And we had the ROTC, some of the young ROTC people there, just a great event. Another thing we have coming up this weekend, this Saturday, the Veterans Independence Project, in tandem with the Door to Virtue Lodge, we actually gave the first Veterans Day Parade last year. When that blew me away last year, because I was like, Westminster, with all this history, and I think Westminster has the oldest Memorial Day Parade. So when they said they'd never had a Veterans Day Parade, it kind of blew me away. I'm like, nah. But yes, last year we gave the first Veterans Day Parade. We will have the second Veterans Day Parade this Saturday, this coming Saturday. So please, come on out. We have a lot of participants, and it's just a great event to recognize our vets. But some of the other things you can do, we always need volunteers. You can also donate. You can donate resources, clothes, food, things of that nature, right? And we always need some financial support, right? So as a matter of fact, when you look at things in today's world, we're in a pretty good place as Veterans Independence Project, but I'm sure you've heard on the news all of the cuts and cuts and cuts, and there are a lot of nonprofits that do good work for a multitude of things that are really in a struggle. And like I said, we've been pretty diligent at V.I.P, but if the cutting continues, right, you can only cut so much.
And you're not in control of it.
Yeah, exactly. So those are some of the ways that you can help if anybody's interested. Like I said, I'll be here, Jason will be here until the end of the meeting.
One quick question, you said we can donate clothing, food, things like that. Where can we go?
Yes, at the headquarters building.
And we can talk afterwards.
We'll talk after, yes. We'll be here, we'll answer questions before we leave, and we'll get you some information. And like I said, we're on Facebook, we have a website.
So I want to thank V.I.P for doing what you do. I'm a veteran service officer here in Carroll County. I work for the Carroll County government.
Yes.
And I was and I'm glad to hear that the showers and the laundry
Yes.
facilities have been finished, because that's such a bonus for
Yes.
our veteran community. I just was curious about with the claims.
Yes.
Who are your staff accredited through?
Well, when it comes to specifically to VSOs, we leverage the VSOs at the DAV when we do that. But we assist the vets, and we actually assist them and go through. And some of the vets we get, we work with you guys in Saline, but some of the vets who may come to us for whatever reason, maybe they were denied, right? And they'll come over to us. We will help them still accomplish that journey they were on, and we will assist them. So the vet is actually leading the process. If the vet leads the process, you don't need to BSF.
Okay, well, also, I just think it's a little bit more complicated than to say that if a veteran isn't receiving any VA benefits, that they should be, because there are whole categories of veterans.
There are categories. There are categories, most definitely.
Okay.
But most of the people who come our route, you know, once there's a whole verification process that we go through, like you guys go through.
Right.
So yes, but once we can verify that they should be and they're not, we will go through the processes of, and we always, for every veteran that comes through VIP, as a matter of fact, I'll put that slide up. I'll put that last slide up because you are one of the people we mentioned here. So every vet that comes our way, we always, if they come direct to us at VIP, we always direct them to go back to see the county and make certain, because you all may have some things that you can offer them also, right?
Right.
So, you know, a lot of what we do is in tandem with you all. So, you know, when you look at some of the local resources, it will not just be VIP. It will be with the county Veteran Services organization, right? As well, we work a lot with the county, and we work a lot with the disabled vets, DAV, right? So we work very closely with the DAV. And the way we are successful, and that's the way any organization, whether it's VIP or otherwise, the only way we can be successful is to be partnered with as many good organizations as we can, because there's so much that is required and so much that the veterans need, right? So with that, again, thank you guys. Thank you guys for coming out, and you know, thank you for being willing to listen to me, and thank you for your interest in supporting veterans.
Anything you want to say federally about the situation?
Well, one of the things that there's so much going on federally. There's so much going on federally. The thing that I would say is just really pay attention. We need, there are several things that, and I don't think I'm alone in this, there's several things that we need here in the U.S. Number one, we got to find a way to get our citizenry kind of back in together, because it really, no matter what party affiliation you have, if we all step back and look at reality, we all want the same thing, pretty much, right? You may have some people who might be a little conservative here or there or whatever, or a little more liberal here or there or whatever, but we all want similar things. We want to be able to live in peace. We want our opportunities. We want to be able to take care of our families and ourselves, right? And we want to be in safe places. I
We'd
mean,
like to be able to eat.
and yes, and we'd love to be able to eat, without a doubt. But you know, it's never, as a longtime business owner, it's I've never first, you know, if there's a business challenge, my first approach was never cut. And if I cut something, I know the impact to me. I know the impact to others, right? I know how it's going to affect my ability to deliver the services I deliver. The other thing I personally do not like, I do not like to wake up every day in chaos. Right? So, one of the things that I'll share that from a business perspective, so one of the agencies I deliver services to, we just got word that it's going to be reduced to the levels of 80+%. And this agency is the Army Recovery and Care Program. Right? So my company, Trusted Technologies, we provided services to this program, great program, that provides services to active duty injured. And I'm not sure exactly why it's being cut, but it's being cut. So
Are you saying it's being reduced?
it's being reduced by 80+%.
So you're gonna have 1/5
So we will go from 14 soldier recovery units to 5 in the country, and with limited services, so full services, right? But again, we live in a world, and we've all probably experienced this in some way or somehow. We live in a world where there are always things above us that we don't control. We have to be ready to maneuver. As my dad would say, you got to be able to be ready to bob and weave so you can stay on the right pathway. And that's kind of where we are. Hopefully, the thing that I think will lead us back to said normalcy is the people being able to come together and not be so divided. But we hope that happens. But yes, there are the VA's been cut. They're all kind. I don't have to tell you how many things are cut. Whether they will come back, I couldn't tell you that. Right? So therefore, some of the things that we do, some of the things that V.I.P does, some of the things that the county does, man, we're going to need more and more support from our local citizenry to make certain that some of these things don't fall through the gaps. And with that, if anybody has any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer any of the questions. And like I said, I will be around, Jason will be around throughout the meeting. So if anyone wants to come up afterwards, questions, comments,
Thank you,
we'll
John.
be here.
I
Thank you.
would just
Yes.
Do you mind if I put out a blast about the Veterans Day Parade?
Oh, please.
Sorry.
These were all around the room. I just want to say, if you have a business and would want to put some out in your office, that's fine. If you go to the dentist, the doctor, whatever, if you want to leave some in the office as you're there, I'm sure that would be appreciated to spread the word. I've got some here. Grab them, please.
Thank you very much, John. And,
Thank you. Thank you.
John